Hello you guys, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I have missed you guys. I've missed talking to you guys. I know it's been a couple days, but I missed you, and thank you so much for joining. So a lot of you guys have been asking me how I got signed to a record label, how I got to be in the position where I can record albums, release albums, perform, all this stuff. So I figured I would share that with you guys today. But first, let me promote my merch. I have this little mantra shirt. My merch is now live on avenuepop.com, so make sure to click the link in the description so you guys can shop my merch shop. We have hoodies, t-shirts, crew necks, phone cases, mugs, the whole kit and caboodle. There's something you're gonna love on there, I promise, so make sure you go check that out. Now, without further ado, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the post notification bell so you never, ever miss a video. So, music has been a huge part of my life for as long as I can remember. I mean, it sounds so cheesy, but my mama has always said that before I could even talk, I was singing in my crib. She would wake up at like 2 a.m. and instead of hearing me like crying in my crib or whatever on the baby monitor, she would hear me like singing little tunes, which if you really think about it, that is absolutely terrifying. And if I hear my baby singing at 2 a.m., I might have to call a priest. However, she thought it was cute. And so from there, my whole mom's side of the family, with every holiday, we always had karaoke and everybody was always singing. It was always just something that was in the air. It's always just something my family did together. And so then when I was 3 or 4 years old, my mom got us into piano lessons, and I loved it, if I'm being completely honest. I loved music. I loved learning more about it instead. And I honestly think that where I fell in love with it was through the little piano recitals. I loved being on stage. I loved kind of having my little performance moment, and that's really where that began. From there, I joined school choir, and I was doing musical theater in school. And so my mom was like, okay, she obviously likes it, let's help her grow in this. And so my mom quickly got me into vocal lessons. And so I did choir all throughout high school, middle school, and I was really passionate about it. So my voice is definitely trained in classical music. If you guys hear any noises, my sister's here, by the way. Ava, say hi.
Hi guys.
And so I was always posting videos of me singing. I was so passionate about it and I wanted to share it with everybody. So on my Instagram, I had tons of videos of me singing. If you guys scroll back on my Instagram, actually, I think it's my first post ever on there. You can see one of my first covers I ever did when I was like 11 years old. But I really looked up to artists like Adele and Lady Gaga and would always sit there for hours and hours watching their videos of them performing on stage. And I would tell my mama every single time, I'm like, that's gonna be me. I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be me. I'm gonna do that. And we'd always watch American Idol and stuff too. And I always told my parents, I'm like, I'm gonna sing on a stage like that one day. And so with that, I was always posting my singing videos to the point where kids at school, they wouldn't know my name, but they would be like, oh, you're that singer girl. Oh, you're the girl who posts videos of her singing. I'm like, yep. As I put myself out there more and more opportunities arose and presented themselves. And soon I was singing the national anthem. I was singing songs in front of thousands of people. I remember singing in front of about 8,000 people in a huge arena that I remember going to concerts to. I remembered going to concerts in that arena and watching Selena Gomez and watching Joe Jonas, watching Justin Bieber, all sing in that arena. So when I finally, even though I only sang one song, once I had the opportunity to sing in that arena, that's when I knew in my bones, I was like, I can do this. I know in my heart I'm going to be able to make a career out of this. And so if I'm being completely honest, I never saw myself doing anything else. And I knew no matter what it took, even if it took me until I was 65 years old, I was gonna work at it and I was gonna make myself a singer to where I could perform every day of my life. And so then where the career part starts to come in, my mom had posted a video of me singing this Callum Scott song, You Are the Reason, on her Facebook. And a talent agent saw it and messaged my mama. He was like, hi, I have an opportunity for your daughter. And she was like, okay, here's my email. And so then they emailed us. And he said, he's like, there's this show, it's like this music competition called Music Cash, and it's coming up. They've already had 2 rounds of it, but I think your daughter could do it. And so my mom was like, okay. And so we didn't really know what it was, but we knew it was like a competition, whatever, where people sing from all over the world. So basically, For those of you who don't know what Music Cash was, it was an online competition where singers from all around the world posted videos of them singing, and people would go in and vote for them, and then they would fly in the top contestants from all over the world to LA to go film and be on the show. There were people from Colombia, from Africa, from Canada, from everywhere, and they were all there, and they were all competing for the same prize. I was in it for 2 rounds, and I ended up getting the little golden coin. And basically, I remember my first day on set being so completely starstruck. I was like, Mama, everybody here is so talented and everybody here is so famous, my goodness. Because to me, anything over 8,000 followers was incredibly famous, and each one of those people had like 50, 60,000 followers. Some of them had millions of followers, and I was completely starstruck. I was so clueless. I didn't know anything about anything. I remember this one guy, it's Troy. He was like, so what genre of music do you sing? And I didn't know what that meant. I was like, I sing ballads. And he was like, I didn't know ballads was a genre. And I was like, help. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know anything about anything. And they're all using these music terms like, oh, I work with this producer, I work with that producer. They're like, who's your producer? I'm like, what's that? I didn't know anything. The producers of that show, they decided to break off and start a record label. And so they took two of the artists off the show, which ended up being me and this girl, Katrina Stewart. And they're like, we're gonna sign you. And I was like, are you kidding me? You're gonna give me a record deal right now. I think I was 16 years old at the time. And so they were like, yeah, we'll have you. And then in the year, like, you need to move here. And I was like, okay. So I was still in school at the time. I was still in high school. And so this all happened during my junior year of high school. But by the time I hit my senior year, I had to move to LA by myself. And so luckily my godmother had an extra house. She was like, okay, you can live in there. And I was like, okay. And so life really changed on the dime. I went from being a little small town girl singing Adele on her Instagram to now having my own album, my own music videos, and making my own music and really pursuing my dreams and getting to sing for people all the time. And it's literally completely changed my life. With that though, considering I had only sang classical music ever, transferring into pop music was not easy at all. I was in the studio all the time. I'm not gonna lie, I remember engineers and producers and stuff getting frustrated with me because they're like, you sound too opera, you're singing a pop song, you sound too opera. And so it was a long process until I figured it out. I think there's still parts that I'm still trying to figure out, but it wasn't until after the release of my last album that I finally found my sound, my own specific style outside of classical music. I feel like I'm finally doing what I've been meant to do and what I've been dreaming of doing. And so what I want you guys to take away from this is don't stop putting yourself out there. If there's something you're passionate about, especially music, make sure you're always posting. Make sure you are always putting yourself out there for opportunities. Even if it involves you going to venues and being like, hey, let me sing for you. And they're like, kind of weird, but okay. Do it! Put yourself out there as much as you can. Persistency and consistency is key, okay? I want you guys to know that whatever it is you want to do, you are fully capable of doing it. And my career's nowhere near where I want it yet, but I think where I'm at so far, my younger self would be really proud of me. Growing up, I was a lonely ass kid, I'm not gonna lie to you. I never felt like I fit in. I never felt like I fit into the box in my hometown. And my mom would always, and I would come home crying and I would be like, Mama, like, I'm just not like them. I just don't feel like I fit in. And she told me, she's like, girl, that's because you're not meant to fit in. And I was like, excuse me? And in my head, I was like, what does that mean? And she's like, no. She's like, everybody who fits in the box, like, yeah, they'll do great things in Fresno and they'll probably have a wonderful family and all this stuff. And she's like, but is that what you want? Do you want to go to college, work a job, and then get married? And I was like, well, obviously that's a good future for some people, but that's not my dream. And so my mom was like, you don't fit in here because you are meant to fit into your own box. You are meant to go off, work on yourself, build a life for yourself that is outside of this town. And it wasn't until years later, it wasn't until I got signed that I finally understood what she was saying. In the moment, I was like, girl, you're just saying I don't fit in. But now I'm like, okay, I get it. And so if your dreams feel outlandish, if they feel like it's 1 in a million, they're not. You can do it. And I remember in high school, I had a biology teacher and he was like, so what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, I want to be a singer. And he was like, well, no, what do you actually want to be? And I was like, a singer. And he was like, look, that's not gonna happen. That is a very long shot. You need to have something more practical, more logical. And I was like, well, if people like Lady Gaga, Selena Gomez, anybody, they're human beings too, right? I'm a human being, we're all the same species, we're all born onto the same earth. I'm just as human as they are, so if they can do it, why can't I? And I think that's always been my mindset, is it's easy to look at celebrities and be like, oh, but they're so amazing, they're so like, and look at them as if they're not human, but at the end of the day, they're just as human as you are. And so if that goal, if that dream was something they were able to accomplish, so can you, and so can I. And I think that's the mindset that's really gonna get me through, and I just need to keep pushing, and I'm gonna keep working on music for you guys. I've been in the studio working on music, and I'm gonna work my ass off until I get to where I wanna be. So, and one thing I'm gonna say is, if you are planning on going into the entertainment industry at all, so many people who try and break you down, don't let them get to you, okay? It doesn't matter what Joe Schmo in the corner thinks. It doesn't matter what Billy Bob Joe thinks of you. As long as you are confident and know that you are working hard, as long as you are satisfied with your work and who you are, that is all that matters. And another thing I'm gonna say is, don't sell your soul to achieve your dreams. And I'm not saying the devil's gonna come to you in the middle of the night. I'm saying you're gonna have a lot of hard choices to make. You're gonna have all these crossroads where your morality is gonna be tested. People are gonna want you to do things that are against your moral compass in order to get ahead in your career. And I think that's where you, in your head, have to ask yourself, is this worth it? And there have been so many times where people have come to me with these opportunities that, yeah, would have boosted my career a ton, but it would have risked compromising my values. So don't compromise yourself and your morals to get ahead. It's not worth it whatsoever. Because for me, like, okay, if my biggest goal was, I want to be rich, I want people to know my name, whatever, then I probably wouldn't think of my morals. But if I'm being honest, that's not my main goal here. My main goal is to inspire others. I ultimately want to live a fulfilling life, and I want to live a life where I spread love and spread goodness in this world. As cheesy as that sounds, that genuinely is my intention, and to feel fulfilled and to know that at the end of the day, I made a positive difference in someone's life. And I did that through something I'm passionate about. I did that through music. I've always found music to be so healing. And that's really all I have to share. Hopefully a couple years from now, I can share more and more, and hopefully I will have traveled a lot more down this road of music career. But as far as how I've gotten to where I am right now, this is how I did it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you to the moon and back. Don't forget to shop my merch, and stay true to yourselves, damn it. Okay, I love you to the moon and back. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the post notification bell so you never miss a video, and follow me on Instagram right here. I love you, my beautiful people.